Hello and welcome to the Phoenix Learning Channel. In our modern age, it has become extremely easy to quickly hammer out an email or a text message and to send it from any of our mobile devices. However, as American author Ben Paris reminds us, rushing never saved the time that planning did. I am sure we can all certainly attest to the unintended consequences of rushed and badly written emails. This video will provide a basic framework for writing winning emails at work. And it uses a framework that I devised, which I call the 3 Ws. Writing winning work emails starts with considering the who, the why, and the what. The first W, who will read it, relates to the audience. It reminds us that somebody will be at the receiving end of this email. The second W, why do I write this mail? What is the purpose of my mail? This will help me to select the appropriate content and tone of voice. And finally, what result do I expect? What do I expect from the reader? What action do I need them to take after reading my email? Thinking about the 3 Ws before actually writing the mail helps our minds to focus on the task at hand. Knowing and understanding my audience helps me to select the appropriate style, such as formal or informal, provide content that is relevant to the reader, and to focus on the outcome of this email. The outcome, of course, depends on the why, the purpose of this email. Knowing why I'm writing this email, knowing its purpose is very important if I do not want to waste anybody's time. I should be clear about its purpose. Do I want to use it to inform, to persuade, to remind, to request, or to instruct? Knowing the purpose of an email will help the reader to put the email in its proper context based on what you write. What result we expect, the outcome. We should keep in mind that communication in the business world must always result in action. What must be done and what part our reader will play in this outcome can also be named the call of action. It is naturally also important to address the when, the date and time for the action to be completed. This is how the 3 Ws can help us to construct an email. Let's look at one or two simple examples. In the first example, we can see an informally styled email between two colleagues. Dear Jay, I trust you and your family had a great weekend. Please remember the marketing meeting tomorrow at 10 in my office. It would be great if you could prepare a short 5-minute presentation introducing our new project. Let me know if you have any questions. Have a great day. This email, in my opinion, contains all the necessary elements of an effective work email that addresses the 3 Ws. Another example is an email perhaps sent to a supervisor. Dear Mr. B, regarding your request for a meeting for marketing tomorrow, the following. I have asked my colleague Jay to give a presentation about our new project to marketing. The meeting will be at 10 in my office. Your attendance will be highly appreciated. Best regards. This email, as in the previous example, contains all of the necessary elements for an effective work email, but is structured in a much more formal tone, and it uses a bullet point. You will notice that there is somewhere hidden on this page an error. This shows us the necessity of checking, and checking again. When we write business emails, we should always remember the advice handed to us from Harold Laswell, a famous communication specialist, who said, "Communication is all about who says what, in which channel, to whom, and with what effect." Communication should always have an effect. And I believe that the 3 Ws will help us to focus on that effect. But we should keep in mind that writing is not an event. Writing is a process. And until now, we had a look at the 3 Ws, or the main points that we should keep in mind before writing an email. Our attention now turns to the process of writing a winning email. And I have identified 4 simple steps. The first 2 steps in writing are to consider, of course, the 3 Ws and also the when, while the second step is writing the first draft. Once we have considered the W's, it is my advice that we write down the answers. Perfectly fine to write them down as short notes, which helps us to focus on the writing of the first draft. Now, the purpose of a first draft is to get our ideas down on paper without worrying about spelling or grammar or even the order of our words. It is a starting point and not the finish line of a race. Sadly, this is the step where many people stop and hit send. The third and fourth step of our email writing process would be to read it with the audience in mind. Read what you have written as if you were the receiver. Will the receiver understand what you are trying to say? And this is where I remember a university professor of mine who always said, "I know that you understand what you think I said, but I am not sure that what you heard is what I meant." The final step in writing is to write the final draft. It is almost like putting the final piece of a jigsaw to complete a puzzle. Once you are happy with the body of your email, you can spend a moment thinking about the heading. The heading in many cases can be a deal breaker. It is like an advertisement that always says, "Read me." Bad headings may result in your email not even being read. A heading of an email should be direct, informative, and short and to the point. Here are some examples of perhaps good, perhaps bad headings. The first one, I think, is short, to the point, and informative. Number 1, launching our new project. Number 2, and scarily enough, this is a heading that I have seen many times in emails addressed to me. From S, your email. It's really very vague and it tells me redundant information because I already know who the email is from. Number 3, again, short, informative, to the point. Annual marketing meeting. Number 4 is weak because it's vague, an email about the work. And then number 5, your contribution will be valuable. Sounds like an interesting email, except that it contains a spelling mistake, which makes me not want to bother to read that email. We have to take care with our work emails. We have to take care with our communication in the workplace because we always want to achieve an effect. And that is why it is better to spend a few minutes in order to save hours later. Keep in mind, George Bernard Shaw said that the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. If you write and send an email without thinking, you have created the illusion that it has taken place without necessarily achieving your purpose. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button. See you next time and have a lovely day. Bye.